we're down trying to test out, get some footage on the BP Pro, just from a very average surfer's perspective. Like, this is a board I've designed for myself after using the BP Mini for so long and trying to add some performance to it, so like a short board, but with a little bit of extra help, as I'm sure you'll see. BP Pro, I'm riding it. I ride the BP Mini in 6'8", 45 litres, and I'm riding the BP Pro in 6'4", 36.6 litres, so it's still quite a lot of foam for me. My standard shortboard would be probably around 33, 34 litres, like a 6'2" doofer, but a big drop down from the standard BP Mini. I'm using the FCS H4s in large as well in the back of this. Like, the first surf I had on this board, like, big difference with using these fins. I really like the feel of them, especially on a longer railline board. They felt a bit sort of weird on my shortboards. I don't know if it was weird good or weird bad. I need to test them out some more. But yeah, to hopefully give you a bit of feedback about these H4s from FCS. Craziest bladey fin you've ever seen. So light as well. Just nothing to them. So we're just going to take it out now. It's probably like shoulder high, offshore, pretty good conditions. We're going to hope it gets on the bank and we get a few good waves, and you can just, yeah, have a watch of me surfing it, and then we'll have a little chat afterwards. Just got out. It was pretty fun actually. It was good little wave. I had loads of fun on that board. I felt like I was catching loads of waves, paddled well, was going fast. And after, you know, feeling a little bit rusty, I haven't surfed over a week or so. I haven't surfed that much. And to get back in and just felt sort of in the slot, as it were. I still messed up a few waves, but it definitely felt like, I don't know, I'm really happy, really set with that board. So I'm gonna go back to the factory and watch the footage and yeah, have a little review of the footage. Right, so we have got back to the factory and gone over the footage of my surf on the 6'4" BP Mini Pro, which is the high performance version of probably my favourite board ever, the BP Mini. Having a look back at the footage, unfortunately, first, shout out to the cameraman. It was his first time filming surfing. We did miss a couple of decent waves to sort of string a bit more of a bigger picture together. I did get some quite nice sort of like one turn waves on my backhand where it felt really nice, loose and fluid. But you know, it's the camera curse that you always get your best ones missed. He managed to get most of my kooky wipeouts on. So after getting back and looking at the footage, the few things I'll say positive about this board at the start is I don't feel much of a difference with paddle. Bearing in mind that the 6'8" is 45 litres and the 6'8" BP Mini is 45 litres and obviously 6'8" in length, and this board is 6'4" and 36.6 litres. I didn't feel like I missed waves because of being on a smaller board, and that was really nice because it meant in my head that I could, oh no. Catching lots of waves on this board wasn't a problem. I am 86 kg, 5'10" in height. The board's 36.6 litres of foam and it's a 6'4". There was no issues. I'm not overly fit. I'm not a good strong paddler. I'm very average across the board when it comes to surfing. It was a good wave catcher for me. I didn't notice it being any worse than the 6'8" BP Mini. That being said, the waves were okay, weren't they? They weren't small, weak waves. They weren't big waves. And this is where I'm leading on to the next thing that I noticed after surfing this board. The waves weren't big. They weren't small. They were kind of like that average, oh yeah, it was fun today sort of size, you know, like shoulder high and a bit of grunt. And if I'm being completely honest with you, the wave has to have a better shape and me to get a bottom turn off and have a nice wall in order for this board to be used by me over the BP Mini, because the BP Mini in that surf that I've just surfed would have been so much fun. It would have smoothed out any of the fatter waves, and I probably would have paddled for more waves on my BP Mini, knowing that I could have caught other waves on this board. But the fact that my BP Mini is more fun on smaller, fatter waves as well means that probably in the session we've just had, I would have had more fun on the BP Mini. But in terms of performance, how quickly this board will come off the bottom and I can change rail to rail, it honestly does feel like a short board to me. I've got a 6.2 doofer, which is about as shortboardy as I'll go. And I'm really struggling to think why this just isn't my new shortboard. Like, why do I pick the doofer, the 6.2 doofer over the 6.4 BP Mini? Because this is easier, definitely easier to catch waves. In essence, what I found from this review, surfing it in these sort of 2 to 3 foot waves, is that I want to surf it in bigger, better waves. That's where it's really going to come into its own. More powerful, longer walls, bigger pocket, something where I'd surf a shortboard, where I'd get a little bit excited. Those sort of surfs where you take off and you don't want to fall because it's a bit scary. That sort of performance-y sort of wave. This is where it's going to come into its own. But I want to do a review video on it. I'm also going to do a video on everyday waves where I take out this and the BP Mini and cross-reference it, because this has been a brainchild of years of surfing the BP Mini template. I've been surfing the BP Mini template for 4.5 years now. Surfing the BP Mini has led me on to wanting more performance out of a mid-length, and this is where I've got to. Doing all the comparison videos, it's really helpful for me. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to get Luke Dillon surfing this board, because that's going to show you what it really can do. There's limits to my surfing. I'm under no illusions that I'm a very average surfer. It's hard for me when I'm being filmed to even get 5 good waves, and it doesn't help when Ed misses my best ones. So we're going to get a pro rider on this board to show you what it really can do, and that's going to be a next video we're going to do on this board. So I'm really looking forward to that when Luke gets back from Cali.